What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tapping back into Savage Studios. It's your boy Savage. Much love, much respect every time you guys tap in. Now smash that like button. Now I'm just playing. Do what you want to do. However, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you do watch the videos, you want to see more, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification icon right next to the subscription button. You'll be notified when I drop other videos. Before we get into anything after this, I do want to say that this is a sideways V-neck. So trust me, when I first got it, I was like, what's going on here? Then you realize that's the style, man. You know your boy coming with some freshness today, man. Probably couldn't see nothing. But anyways, let's get back into really the main premise of this video here. Will prison, jail, or any type of other institution that holds male, grown men, and grown women in their detention centers, captive, whatever you want to call them, right? And the answer is a little more complex than you would like to think, because there has been uprisings in previous prisons throughout history. And with time, with years, with advancement in technology, obviously the situation became just a little more difficult for inmates to have an uprising and hold any type of stronghold in prison. So you got to go into it understanding a few things. One being, inmates don't have guns. We don't have guns, and if you're going to go up against, let's say, the guards, the prison, and have this uprising, you need to understand this is enemy. They are enemy. Enemy has guns. They have guns with vantage point. Guns with vantage point means that they have guns in the tower, right? And the thing about the tower is they don't only have the tower for the yard. So wherever you stage, let's just put it this way, wherever you were to stage an uprising in the pen, right? Let's say you were to do it in the chow hall, in the kitchen. Certain prisons actually have catwalks right above the whole chow hall. Old Folsom, to be specific. I'm sure San Quentin is the same way, and any other prison designed that way. Maybe Tracy too, who knows? Other prisons, chow hall, have just the gunner, the tower in the corner, right? So all in the dining hall, you have all the tables, and then you have the gunner. That's if they have a separated chow hall with the kitchen and everything. And then you have the ones who actually feed the inmates in their own block. This happens typically, most commonly, in receptions, where there's not a whole bunch of movement. They're not really sending you nowhere. You're just staying in your house. You come out, you just go to the day room. That's where you eat your food. It has the showers in the same day room. It has the phones, if there is no phones, whatever the case may be. So, understanding that there is literally an M14. I want to say M14 or M4, one of those type of rifles in the gunner. And every tower and every little stronghold that they have, anywhere you're transported, there's always somewhere, someplace for them to nestle in, and shoot your brains out. So that's kind of another thing that's just a little more difficult to process if staging an uprising in prison. Another big thing that I think everyone should take into account that is not the same on the streets but runs this way in prison, they don't do hostage negotiations with prisoners. So I could go up to the warden, put that toothbrush up, whatever you sharpen, raise the blades, take the little rod out of the fan that they sell, put a nice little point on that. Got yourself a little ice pick. Put it up to the warden's Adam's apple for whatever reason. Maybe I just want to give him a little shave or something. And they will not negotiate. They cannot negotiate. There is no type of deal we can work out. There's nothing of them opening the gates, cracking the doors, open the gates, let all the inmates run free. It's not going to happen. So that's another thing. So while staging your uprising, you're going to know that you cannot negotiate anything. No matter, there's nobody in the prison most valuable enough for you to get any type of deal or any type of helicopter to land on the prison yard and get you and your boys out of there. Not going to happen. So ultimately, it just can only stand on a matter of principle, right? It can only be on a matter of principle. If you were to do this, you're just making a statement. You're just making a point. It's been, like I said, it's been done before. Look at the Chino situation at Chino prison about, I don't even know how long ago, maybe a decade ago, maybe more. I'm not sure. But that was a big one. You know, they was trying to set things on fire. I want to say they set the canteen on fire or something like that. They were going crazy though. They were going crazy throughout that whole thing. But it was quelled and it was neutralized and taken care of. Now let's just pretend. Let's play pretend that this whole unity thing, right? Y'all got so mad at me for my video yesterday, right? At least not all y'all. Actually, I got a lot of support from my community, but I think the black community was not understanding of where I'm coming from because I got black folks. I say the word nigga, and I'm not gonna stop. You can't be mad at me for telling my people to have enough self-respect for our culture to not just be involuntarily drug into something that we was already gonna get into if we felt some kind of way about it. But it's like, don't all of a sudden do things is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like that just a month ago when, you know, my people was getting their ass beat, blah, 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 blah. You know, but, you know, it goes both ways. People say you don't have enough mental capacity to speak on this. Well, look, listen, I'm not the most studied individual on the matters. You're right. I'm just me with a platform giving my opinion. Never said I was. You know, I never said I did have the IQ or the mental capacity to say anything that you think I'm saying. Just sticking up for my people, and however you want to see that, you see that how you want to see it. It don't faze me none. However, going into this one, I'm going to explain a little bit more to you what it's like for somebody like me or somebody else who's been to prison. You don't see unity. There is no such thing as unity. Listen, it's black and brown right now. That's a beautiful thing. Black and brown, it's a beautiful thing, man. That's what I want. But in the pen, it's not that way. It's Mexican. It's brown and white against blacks. It's Paisas, Southsiders, Woods against blacks. If push comes to shove, that's just the raw reality. How it ended up that way, I really don't know. I really don't know how brown and white ended up clicking up together over all the years. And people say, "Oh, we not clicked up," and you know maybe things have changed now. But for the longest time, the whites were with us to an extent. You know, like if shit kicked off, they would be known to jump for us. And vice versa, rarely, but vice versa, it would happen too, you know? So there is no unity amongst blacks and browns in prison. There's no one's coming out like, hey, F you and F this, and nah. But come on now. This was, you know, after, you know, dropping out and doing whatever, joining whatever I joined and being where I joined, you got to understand the best part about that was being able to actually have a meal. If I wanted to sit at a table with a black and eat with a black, I could now do that. Unfortunately, when you come into the system, when you come into the pen, you can't eat with them. You come from jail to prison. In jail, you're taught you cannot eat with them. You cannot do business. You cannot, any type of food items like that has to go through a third party, which is the Woods. The Woods is who we use to do our business with the blacks from time to time or whatever, you know. But the fact that there was rules in place to where we couldn't share the same food with blacks, that should let you know what kind of like unity, you know, that people really had in the pen. So being on the streets, like for me, how I see it now, it's just it's a nice thing, okay? It's a nice thing. It's cool, you know. Will it last? I don't know. It's always been good for me. I've always had unity going on for me. I've already told y'all who I kick it with, who majority of the people that I rock with are anyway. So whatever you see on this platform is what, and you draw your conclusion. It don't matter to me or my folks or me and my people. It doesn't. It doesn't matter to any of that. What I'm only trying to just give you more knowledge so you can understand why I even formed the opinions that I formed. So let's get back to prison though. Let's just say for some crazy reason the blacks and the browns did find the common ground, the common enemy. Shit. Let's just say everybody wised up for once in their life. Every race in the pen said, you know what? Cops on site, COs on site, that is the one enemy, right? Okay. Let's say they said that, right? Let's say they did that. What would happen? Someone asked me, what would happen? I'm going to tell you what would happen right now. Anyone who tells you any different doesn't know any better. They have signs in prison when you drive up that say no warning shots fired. That rule will immediately take effect. Immediately. Being in prison for 10 years, especially being in the hole in the shoe, you really have a lot of close contact with COs. because they have to escort you to showers, to Ad Seg Yard. You know what I mean? They're the ones, they bring you your canteen, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. They get to know you, you get to know them as much as you possibly can, and as much as they possibly can. It's just more of a studying your enemy type thing, I guess. A lot of them are gun-toting, you know, tending to lean towards the more like right as opposed to the left side of the political atmosphere, if you know what I'm saying. More conservative, which is all fine and dandy. You know, we don't hate on nobody over here on Savage Studios. It is what it is. We just put facts out there. However, I promise you, they would blast inmates apart. It would be shooting fish in the barrel in the most literal sense of the term. The tower in the day room is right there in the day room. Right there in the day room. He could, and they got all along the tower windows, they have these big slits, like slabs, right? But they're slits, like they're open. And it's for the guns. It's to put their guns through and aim in any type of manner. Up, down, left, right. Inmates don't stand a chance. What are you going to do? You're going to run into your cell? Okay, cool. Electronically close the door. Or let's say you run into your cell and you close your own door, thinking that's going to help you. You got a tray slot on your door. They open it, open your tray slot. Put the barrel to the gun inside the tray slot, and it's over with. Prisoners are smart. They're not going to join this. They're not going to partake in this. And if they were, they're going to do it in a very strategic manner, which would be something along the lines of a hunger strike, maybe a nationwide hunger strike, and which has been done before when some of our rights were pretty much being trampled on as inmates. They weren't treating us as humans, you know, and things were accomplished through hunger strikes that could not have been accomplished by stabbing, you know, COs, whacking COs, you know what I mean? None of that could have been accomplished, but it was accomplished by hunger strikes, a peaceful protest, right? So they know. Inmates, I was there. I was a part of the peaceful protest. The last hunger strike that I had with the homies and shit, it wasn't a violent one. It wasn't anyone attacking any COs or doing anything that could go against the actual original purpose and mission and objective. Why would you do that? So just to play, this is your answer, just to like play, you know, devil's advocate, just to give you, you know, your answer. If inmates were to do any type of rising up, or it would be small, isolated events where they're like, you know, let's say they want to hit a CO, boom, hit him a couple times, they go off to the shoe, he don't make it, or they airlift him and he does make it, that's it. Now, if it was to be a total actual uprising and a whole prison yard would go up, you know who's in the office right now. Right? You know who's in the office right now, right? This guy can't even wait to enact certain laws on society, which is why I warned you in my last video that you guys gotta kick back, because if it keeps going and it gets worse than this is a global thing. This isn't the LA riots. This is more of a global scale. Domestic military force. Look it up. That's what you can expect on society. If prisoners get it through their head for 1 second that they're going to do anything like what's going on in society, man in office, who wants to take a guess what he'll do? Who wants to take a guess what kind of example he'll make? Because he's dying to. And that would be a justifiable move in damn near everybody's eyes, except for, you know, the protesters and the rioters and the looters. But at this point, you think, man, in office, you think he cares about any of their opinions or points of views or concerns or feelings or anything? No. It is up to us to take back the communities. It is up to y'all, man. It is up to everybody in those neighborhoods that are being looted, robbed, and everything. Go protest. Do what you gotta do. But do not let your community, if you can do anything, bro, if you from a gang, if you from a hood, protect all small businesses in your hood. That would be my best advice. If you sit back and you let your city burn, it's not going to do anything positive. It's not going to affect you in a good way. It's not going to affect your city in a good way. Respect and protect the original message. If you are truly sick of police brutality, racism, I am. If you're really truly sick of that, stick to the main agenda. Don't be no little punk ass coward. That's bitch shit. You know what I mean? Don't be no little punk ass thief running around spray painting fuck 12. Really? That's you really respecting the main agenda here. That's you really getting the point across. No. All you're doing is aggravating the police force. You aggravate the police force, and yeah, they may come out with the press conference and say, hey, listen, we want to apologize and say we do need a reform and blah, blah, blah. But all you're doing is aggravating the police force. And if you aggravate them enough, then you'll have to aggravate the National Guard. And once you aggravate them enough, well, then you'll have to aggravate domestic military assaults. And let me tell you guys something. They don't come with pepper spray cans and little smoke grenades and batons and shields to push you on your ass. When you have aggravated every branch and have reached the top, it's like Grand Theft Auto. You ever play Grand Theft Auto, the video game? You get more stars, and then they start sending more cops. They send the helicopters, and they send tanks, and they send SWAT and all that other shit. It's like a game of Grand Theft Auto, guys. Once you hit too many stars and they start sending out the big guns, you know what's going to be left? Let me tell you what's going to be left. Pussy ass little looters, they going to be the first ones to bail out. They never gave two shits about BLM, about any type of brown lives. They didn't care about nothing. They gonna be the looters gonna be the first one to be gone, with their new Jordans on that they stole, the new hats that they stole, the new jewelry that they stole, the backpacks or whatever they got on. That's it. They're out. They're gonna be the first ones out. The second ones out are gonna be the violent ones, right? The violent ones are gonna be the second ones are out, because they're only violent because they can be right now. These people ain't, you think they hard? Anyone can mob up with a gang of like 50, 60, hundreds, even maybe 1,000, thousands, and start throwing bricks and dope fiend someone from the back and be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But when they give you some pushback, they're going to push hard. They're going to push harder than any other street gang you ever faced. They're going to push harder than any other rival you ever faced. And they're not going to play fair, and they don't care about your little emotions and your family crying about how you was a good boy and you never meant to hurt nobody. No. So they're going to be the first, they're going to be number two. They're going to be the second ones out. And then what's going to be left at the end of everybody jumping out the boiling pot, what's going to be left is going to be the real ones. The black activists, the brown activists, who pushed peacefully and protest in the right, correct way. The ones I respect. Our black leaders and our brown leaders. The ones I respect. Simple as that. I understand the frustration, and I could understand even the assaults that had taken place on certain forces, and maybe an establishment or two that actually had some actual meaning to it. But aside from that, a lot of the shit that's been going on is punk coward shit in my eyes. It's just punk coward shit. That's all. There's nothing more you can call it, man. Spray painting shit up and doing all this. Come on. You disrespecting the movement. You disrespecting the actual real movement. And if you don't believe me, switch your TV off of the news for a second. Go to PBS. Go to some other little channel. Look it up on YouTube. And listen to some actual black leaders. Listen to some actual brown leaders. Denounce what you're doing. Speak shame on what you're doing. So it's probably best you do what you do, but you leave them, their movement, and their agenda out of your mouth. Because you're making it hard for your own people with what you're doing. So this shit ain't gonna fly in society. No more. Just mark my words. Keep on going. Keep going with it, y'all. Keep going. It's only gonna get 10 times worse. The pushback, y'all not even ready. Look up what I told you to look up. Domestic military, domestic, whatever. The word I use, you know what I'm saying? It's a step above National Guard. We'll just call it that. Good luck, man. Good luck to y'all if you think that that's something you can hang with. But when they start firing down and making it rain on you, and you start wondering, wait, hold up. We human beings. We're not animals. We're human beings. What are you doing? You just killed Billy. You just killed Timmy. You just killed Kenny. Nah, it's too late. Push it in the right way, man. That's all I'm saying. Hell, I'll use my platform to push it in the right way, to push as much as possible. You racist ass cops, you police that are abusing people, hurting people, brutalizing people, shame on you. Shame on you. You should do the time for all the crimes you guys have committed. You guys don't even know the number of times I've been abused, being in prison for 10 years, having to fight my case for 1.5 years in the county jail, dealing with them deputies and them sheriffs, bro. Like, don't get me started on having your ass beat by cops. I've seen all the racism anyone could think to see in a whole damn life aimed at me. So I don't rock with them. But there is cops out there who are not on that. There is a mission, there is an objective, and there actually is police officers who are ready to stand by these real leaders and push together in a parallel, unified line, straight towards the White House and whoever it's got to go to get answers and get something done about it. Quit going against what you want to do. You going against your own grain. You going against the grain. So if you think society's going to get away with it, and I'm telling you they can't, that's not going to happen, it damn sure wouldn't happen in prison. They would be, martial lawed like this. We'd have a whole lot less prisoners by the morning time. If they wanted to even think for 1 second they could jump in on the bandwagon. But they wouldn't do that. Because what's going on is clown shit. Real ones don't do clown shit. You know what I mean? I get it. I respect the protest and I'm all for it. Aside that, it's clown.